Good evening, I'm Crystal Wright, a UTA College of Nursing student. Today we'll be discussing a book written by Daniel Goleman, Richard Boyatzi, and Annie McKee, which is titled Primal Leadership, Learning to Lead with Emotional Intelligence. The authors of this book are all highly qualified in emotional intelligence. Dr. Goleman is currently a professor at Harvard University. He's also a psychologist, science journalist, and in the past he wrote for the New York Times for about 12 years. Annie McKee is an author of best-selling business books and an advisor to some top global leaders. She's also the Senior Fellow and Director of the GSE's Doctoral Program and the Medical Education Master's Program. Robert, an American organizational theorist and Professor of Organizational Behavior at Case Western Reserve University, and is also considered an expert in the field of emotional intelligence. The purpose of the book was to teach leaders how to use their emotions to help them lead, and not just to lead with their head. Goleman, Boyatzi, and McKee were originally approached by a CEO of a mid-sized company and asked to work with 3 members of an executive team who were not cooperating well together. And the CEO felt that they just needed some time and some team building exercises to get them back on the right track, but through questioning and research that was proven to not be the case. They all had some kind of emotional intelligence flaw that was disrupting their work. This book's target audience is the executives, managers, and team leaders who all need to learn emotional intelligence to lead a strong team. There were many strengths to this book, most of all that anyone can learn to be a good leader. Research and studies were performed, such as the 360 feedback, as proof to the usefulness of emotional intelligence in leadership. Emotional intelligence was also defined through self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, which are all also important for leadership and were discussed throughout the book. As with every book, there were some weaknesses. The main weakness was that there was a lot of redundancy, and many sections could just be skimmed through, as it was the same information, which could have made the book longer than it should have been. And if they had have condensed the information and put it all together instead of repeating constantly, it would have made for a little easier read. Do I think the authors achieved their objective of proving? Yes. I would say that they proved and defined emotional intelligence as an important trait in the leadership positions. And those leaders with known emotional intelligence seem to have better outcomes with their team and have a happier, more productive team than those who just base their decisions off of their education versus their emotions. Do I recommend this book? I would say yes. I would recommend this book on primal leadership to those in executive, managerial, or team leader positions, and even those seeking positions to better understand their emotional intelligence and its major impact on their leadership abilities and its importance to a leader. That concludes my presentation on the power of emotional intelligence. So does anyone have any questions for me today?